as all things Omicron cause panic around the country and internationally. We're about to give you an update in terms of what is happening at the country's airports. We take you now to my colleague Malungelo Booi, who's at the OR Tambo International Airport for an assessment of things there. So, Malu, if you are able to capture the mood there for us, panic has set across the country and internationally. What is it that we're seeing and hearing there?
Hi there, Dudu. In fact, what you're currently seeing here at the OR Tambo International Airport behind me are just some of the international travelers. What they immediately do when they arrive here is to look into the leaderboard, Dudu, to see if their flights have been cancelled or not. So if you look at that leaderboard, there were two flights, in fact, Air Mauritius and Qatar Airlines. Their flights were also cancelled today. In fact, we also know, though, Duduzile, that there are other airlines that have also cancelled their flights from South Africa. We're talking here about British Airways and Lufthansa, that as countries really continue to impose that travel ban on commercial flights coming from South Africa, leaving some of the people here, Duduzile, in a panic mode. Earlier on, I saw a lady that was hoping to get into an Emirates flight, go back to the UAE, but she couldn't, Duduzile, because of the ban that has been imposed there from flights that are coming to South Africa. So people are panicking. But also other people that I've seen here, Duduzile, have been people that are here to change their flights. So it's people that had travel arrangements, for example, for next week. They're now pushing those travel arrangements to today, hoping to get a flight that will get them out of the country so that they can go back to their various destinations. And one of the people that I spoke to is Steve Lawrence. He's flying to the USA. His flight was for Wednesday, but he wants to get onto a flight today so that he can get out of South Africa and to visit his child. Let's take a listen.
Oh, we're supposed to fly to the States, and our flight was booked for Wednesday, and due to the States closing on Monday, we're trying to see if we can rebook that flight via the Emirates today or jump on a standby flight. But there's absolute chaos. No one's answering their phones. We've been on the call center for Emirates for the past 2 hours on 3 phones. No one's answering. We've phoned our travel agent, Discovery Travel. They're not available on weekends. So it's an absolute disaster.
So how long were you guys planning to be in the States for?
For the month of December, to visit my daughter who lives in the States and to visit some friends. And we don't know. And at the moment it's looking very bleak that we're actually going to get the opportunity, simply because our scientists are so good, and they're the ones that uncovered this new variation of the COVID-19 virus. And, we've been punished because of it. We're doing our homework and we're making these results available globally, and the world is just shutting us out. And it's devastating impact on our economy and on our tourism especially, because everyone was banking on a bailout with tourism over December with the amount of British and Europeans that fly to South Africa. So it's doom and gloom in our tourism industry. Things are going to grind to a halt completely.
So if you don't get a flight, if you don't get to change your flight and leave today, what's going to happen?
What can we do? We're stuck. We're going to have to relook at our plans later on in the year and see if we can get to the States or not. But it's a huge disappointment that we've got to be punished on the tail end of the good work done by our scientists, where this variant can mutate anywhere in the world. It just happens that our scientists uncovered this variant, and here we are.
Malu, your guest speaks of chaos and disaster. Let's come back onto the continent. So for people who are traveling in between the continent, as we understand it, Morocco and Mauritius have imposed bans, travel bans. So for those who will be able to travel between the continent, what do you need to anticipate? Being at the airport much earlier than what you need to? We see long queues there at the airport as well.
Hi, that's right, Duduzile. In fact, I keep on looking at that leaderboard. So we're seeing Emirates Dubai, that flight has been cancelled. Air Mauritius to Mauritius, that flight has been cancelled. Qatar to Doha, that flight has also been cancelled. So there's a lot of panic now amongst the people that are here. But here's what I've also been able to observe, Duduzile. So some of the travelers, for example, I mean, people who will be traveling to Mauritius at least have until what? Have until Monday to make sure that they get there. And one of the things that I've been noticing is that a lot of these airline staff would be explaining to people, about these cancellations and all of that. But people, what people simply want to do is simply want to get out, because people are are afraid of being stuck in South Africa. But what I've also noticed with other international travelers is that what they're trying to do, if they cannot get, a flight to their direct destination, what they'll do is they'll see if, for example, can they board with Air Ethiopia, for example, and then there's a detour for them in Addis, and then they pick up from there and travel to their various destinations. So that's what people are hoping for. So we know, though, Dudu, that it's not only South Africa that has been hit by this travel ban, as you rightfully pointed out. Several countries in the southern African region have also been affected. We're talking countries here like Namibia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Swaziland, and Lesotho. So people from those countries as well will find themselves in trouble if they want to travel to the countries that have imposed a ban on the southern African countries as a result of this new variant.
Ironically, I met people from Sweden who felt rather safer in South Africa in terms of testing, in terms of observing of social distancing and the non-pharmaceutical ways of staving off infection. What is it that people are telling you there with regards to Omicron? Are they worried about, the variant itself, or just merely want to leave South Africa before it's too late?
Well, people want to leave South Africa because of the ban that has been imposed by several countries. Some people still wanted essentially to be here, but they are worried about being stuck in a foreign country. Some people were here as tourists, some were here on business. Now they've been forced to cut those trips short and get out of the country because they don't want to find themselves being stuck in a foreign land. But interestingly, Duduzile, before we came I came on air with you, there was a South African man who is traveling to Egypt, and now he says he's in a catch-22 situation because Air Egypt has cancelled, his return flight. He's only returning later in the month. So he's now finding himself in that predicament because he's saying that he does not know if he must go to Egypt or he must just stay in the country. He's saying he's in a catch-22 situation. But of course we know the South African government, President Cyril Ramaphosa, is in a meeting where they're actually discussing this particular issue of this new variant.
Thank you very much, Malungelo, Booi, as we strive to bring you accurate information with the panic that has set in the country, that you hopefully have information to work with so you can make an informed decision.